Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group EMD 7M2B, group number 14. We want to present about our occupation safety and health OSHA implementation at industry. So we had choose Central ICT as our site visit. Our group members, the first one is ABDUL bin AZLI, and then Muhammad SYAZWAN bin SUKAIRI, and then Muhammad ALIF bin AZLI. The last one is AHMAD LUTFI bin ALFIAN. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is HAKIM bin RAZAK, and I will explain to you about the introduction. Okay, the shopping mall management industry can be considered one of the most hazardous sectors since it is associated with different type of heavy machinery, chemical substance, and many more that are exposed to any working personnel. So this is very important for the industry to comply with the law that created by Department of Occupational Safety and Health (DOSH). For example, the guideline for safety and health at the construction site. Okay, next I will explain about the facilities for occupational safety and health. The Occupational Safety and Health Act (OSHA) was passed on 25 February 1994 with the goal of ensuring the safety, health and welfare of all employees in all workplaces. It was established on the basis of self-regulation, with those who create the work with risk bearing the primary responsibility for ensuring workplace safety and health. So for the shopping mall management industry, they used to follow the guideline for safety and health at the construction site, and then Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 Act 514. The last one is the Factories and Machinery Act 1967 Act 139. Okay, next is the existing facilities and safety features at the ICT shopping mall that we already identify what we are doing our site visit activity. So the first one is the fire extinguisher. The fire extinguisher is the primarily used to distinguish a fire by separating it from the air oxygen supply. And then the second feature you can see is the fire hose. The fire hose is a high pressure hose that is used to extinguish a fire by carrying water or other fire retardant to it. Okay, next, as you can see here, this is the alarm system. That is the fire detector technology is to inform the alarm system to the presence of a fire before it spread further in the region. And then the second feature is the fire sprinkler. This is also used to keep the fire from getting out of hand and become more dangerous to consumer or employees. Okay, this is the plan for the buildings, the emergency plan. So every company, according to OSHA requirement, must have a detailed evacuation plan that can be enacted in the event of fire or other calamity. Okay, next is the first one is the PS system for the shopping mall. The mechanism allow for crucial statement to be met as well as public direction. And then the second one is the CCTV. CCTV system is used to capture footage and accident in the building. Okay, the first feature is the fire switch. Fire switch able to quickly disconnect high voltage equipment in an emergency situation. And then the second feature is the fireman telephone emergency. During an emergency such as fire officer or building management use the firefighter telephone. It's a way for people in the different area or level of the buildings to communicate directly with a trained or responsible person at the control console. Okay, this is the emergency door release. The emergency door release EDR are available to give a physical manner of unlocking an electronic lock. And then the second one is the emergency stair. The emergency stair is used to get the victim or person to get out from the building. Okay, the first feature is the emergency light. Emergency light function when there is the emergency situation that create the short circuit in the buildings. The second one is the caution sign that used to close the workplace. For example, they're doing the maintenance, so they put the caution sign to inform the public that the place is closed.
Hi everyone, my name is Muhammad Alif bin AZLI, and today I will talk about the part B of this video, type of hazard and prevention method. Moving on to the next part is the prevention method. To prevent this hazard from becoming worse, before it become an accident, the management has put out the no smoking sign in toilets and elevators to prevent people from smoking. Next, the mall uses central HVAC system. This system uses the outdoor air, and then it filters the air, and then they heat the air, cool the air, heat again, before they send it inside the mall. Next, I will talk about fire and explosion hazard. So the prevention method is the management. They mark the emergency equipment on every floor plan. Like in this picture, the LG floor plan, they have marked the location of the water hoses, fire extinguishers, and also water sprinklers, and also the emergency fire door. Next is to educate on proper guidelines and emergency. Next, I will talk about slip and trip hazards. So to prevent this, we need to cover the exposed wires with a casing. Like in this picture, they use a metal casing. They put the wires, exposed wire under it. And then we need to mark trip hazard area. Like you can see at the picture with the lights on. They mark the trip hazard area with the yellow and black tape. And then at the escalator, you must see the yellow lines on the stairs, right? So you shouldn't cross the yellow line. It is very dangerous. You can trim your foot inside there and not good, not good. Then we need to educate proper usage guidelines. Like in the escalator pictures, you can see that they have placed some stickers on what to do and what you don't need to do. You must not do it when you are using escalator. And lastly, on the last picture is the anti-slip mat that is available in the prayer room. Next, I will talk about the hierarchy form. I will talk about some of it, not everything of it. Let's say activities: walking over extended wires of plug. The hazard that we may face is trip hazard. We might have minor bruise if we trip. So how do we prevent this? We use a barrier. We put the wires inside the casing so that people won't trip over it. The likelihood of the accident is 4, which means it is commonly happen. The severity is only 1 because if we trip, we only get minor bruises. It doesn't become fatal or permanent injury. So how do we risk control? Is we store the extended wires in a casing so that people won't trip. Yeah, that is correct. And another one I will talk about the kids playing around when using escalators. The potential hazard is power equipment. If it became an accident, their hands or feet might stuck on the escalator. So when we do perform risk analysis, we need to redesign the escalator. It's not that we redesign, we make a new escalator. We need to make a minor design on the escalator. Like now we paint yellow lines on the stairs and we tell the people to do not cross the yellow line. It is not safe if you do that. The likelihood is at 4 and the severity is 3. It can cause permanent injury. In some recent cases, there are kids who his hand got stuck inside the escalator and it crushed his hand. There is a permanent injury. So the risk level is 12. 12 for the risk level is actually pretty high. It is risky, it is high. So that's why we need to install brushes on escalator stairs to prevent them from falling into it. That's all from me. Thank you. I will pass to my other friend.
Assalamualaikum. My name is LUTFI ALFIAN and I am here today to present to you about Part C, procedures in case of emergency or accident in the mall. First, what is an emergency? Emergency is when a situation requires immediate action and if not handled properly, the consequences may be dire. A general emergency procedure is when you have a plan of action, you execute the plan calmly, and you ensure the safety of everyone involved during the execution of the plan and finally the conclusion of the plan. Now, next is 5 examples of emergency procedures in the mall. First is emergency evacuation if there's a fire. First, ERT will trigger the fire alarm and broadcast evacuation message using the PA system and call 999. Next, evacuate everyone according to the evacuation plan. But if the fire is safe enough, ERT will use the fire extinguisher to put out the fire. After everyone has evacuated, ERT will check to make sure no one is left behind in the mall. Finally, wait for the fire department to arrive and inform them of the condition of the mall. Next example, when someone is trapped in an elevator, the procedure is to push the alarm button in the elevator to notify the mall. ERT will send someone to the elevator to assess the situation. ERT will call the elevator technician and emergency services if needed. If no life-threatening situation is happening, ERT will wait for the elevator technician and or emergency services. Finally, after getting out of the elevator, ERT will check if anyone needs help. Next, when an employer wants a report about a case. First, ERT will assess the injured person and categorize the injury under 2 categories. First, if it is injuries or accident, the employer will report using the form JKKP6. If it's under poisoning or disease, use form JKKP7. And finally, the case will be recorded with form JKKP8. Next example, if there's an accident or injury in the mall. After being notified, customer service personnel will come and assess the person's injury. If it is a light injury, the customer service personnel will use the provided first aid kit to treat the injuries. If it's not a light injury, the customer service personnel will call emergency services. And finally, if the injury needs hospitalization, the mall will report to DOSH about the case. If it's not, no further action is required. The final example is when severe weather happens. The mall will get notification of severe weather from Malaysian Meteorological Department, and then the mall will notify tenants, employees, and visitors using the PA system. ERT will direct everyone towards the closest service corridor to take shelter. After receiving information that severe weather has passed, ERT will check on the conditions of everyone, and finally inform everyone and let them go. Thank you. That's all from me.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Mem603. I will present about Part D, OSH Management System. Okay, overview. Each business must have an OSH management system in order to improve their management system in the company. Okay, the purpose of the OSH management system is to improve occupational health and safety, and also to eliminate hazards and minimize OSH risks. OSH management system is important because it is important in developing and implementing occupational safety and health policies and goals. ICT shopping mall, the daily routine enforcement is cleaning and inspection. Okay, the daily routine of cleaning is removing of water spilling and also any sticky floor. So the slippery floor sign is used to warn the customer to be more careful. And the inspection is done to make sure there is no faulty occur, such as cracked tiles, exposed wire, and unprotected renovation site. Okay, for the safety procedure, as the shopping malls are considered as multi-level building, they usually use lifting mechanism for the customer to travel around the buildings. So the typical lifting mechanism that is used is elevator and escalator. So the safety procedure in the elevator is the customer must not exceed the load limit to prevent breakdown. And in case there is breakdown, the customer is instructed to press the alarm button in case of breakdown. So next, the lifting mechanism is escalator. The safety procedure while riding the escalator is to stay inside the marker to prevent their clothes to be stuck at the moving part. The rider is also instructed to not sit on the escalator to prevent their clothes stuck on the moving parts. And as the shopping mall is multi-level building, barriers is built around the corridor to prevent them from falling from high level. The safety procedure is the customer is instructed to not lean or climb the barrier. Next is the emergency system. The first emergency system is emergency exit. As the shopping malls are considered a closed environment, emergency exit is very important. In case of emergency, the people in the building need to be evacuated to a safe place to prevent multiple injuries or unnecessary death. It is also important for the rescue team to enter and exit the building in case there is accident occur, for them to deliver the first aid treatment. Next, the fire control equipment and installation. The typical fire control equipment is fire extinguisher and hose reel. This is necessary in every building, every commercial building. Next is the fire sprinkler. In case the fire gets too big and uncontrollable, fire sprinkler is used to control the fire. Next is the fire alarm and smoke detector. The purpose of this installation is to detect the fire and warn the customer or the people inside the building that there are fire hazards. Next is the floor plan. The safety procedure is that the floor plan should be provided to each floor. Usually the floor plan will point out the fire emergency equipment and emergency exit. And next is the awareness and training program. The first awareness and training program is the 5S implementation program, where the workers is trained to improve their manner in their workplace. And next, the fire drill. As typically the mostly hazards that will occur in a shopping mall is fire drill, as they usually the hazard that will occur in a shopping mall is fire hazard. So fire drill is very important in order for the customer or people inside the building to evacuate more effectively. Okay, that's all from our team. Thank you.